Welcome to It Takes Two. My name is Christopher. I am one half of the It Take Two crew. Listen here, I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment. I am here representing myself and also my wife, who cannot be here with me at this moment because she is recovering. But hopefully by this time next week, she will be back with us. Instead, I got Blair Bear with us helping us. Say hi, Blair Bear. Okay, say hi whenever you want to. In the comments below, make sure y'all write get well soon, Blair. She will be back hopefully next week. But instead, she sent me to work and to give y'all this review for season 10, episode 11 of Married to Medicine. Are y'all ready to get into it? All right, let's go. So Eugene is at the florist shop and Toya meets him there. Apparently, I was sitting there watching this with Blair. This is Eugene planning date number 2 for Toya. Now, let me stop right there. Remember when Toya was talking about a couple episodes ago, like, we need a date. You need to put more effort in this relationship. And apparently, I was under the assumption that, okay, he planned the first date and that Toya's going to plan the next date. I think Eugene was under that same assumption because last episode, he was like, hey, I planned a date for your mom talking to the kids at the dentist, and your mom haven't planned a date for me. So now we are at the florist shop with Eugene in this episode, and this is 2 dates in a row that he's getting for Toya. Listen here, man. A lot of us are hard on Toya because we feel like she overworks Eugene, and Eugene, some of the financial troubles that they have found themselves in with the IRS and things like that, having to move. We kind of blame Toya subconsciously and kind of consciously. We kind of feel like, hey, you don't work, you don't bring no finances to the house, so give Eugene a break. Hey, if Eugene not going to be man enough to stand up and say, hey, it's time for you to plan a date, who am I to say, hey, he shouldn't be doing this? But nevertheless, he's at the florist, right? And they begin to work with these flowers. Toya comes in and she's basically like, oh, what's this? This is nice. I thought we were going to Domino's because it's right next to the Domino's. She just can't help herself. She can't help herself. Even in the confessional, Eugene was basically like, you are hard to please. Now, I find that very suspicious. How is someone who don't work hard to please? It's crazy to me. I don't know. Like, I understand that we both work and you tired, I'm tired, and but I'm just saying, how are you so hard to please, but yet you don't really let me move on, right? So anyway, Toya talks about how it feels good to be around the ladies, basically alluding without Quad. And they show flashbacks of basically them throwing Quad off the show, right? Here's my thing about this, right? I do feel like the beef between Toya and Quad was kind of strange, especially what they was alluding towards each other. Toya, even though she said she never said this, Quad said that Toya said that she was sleeping with her builder, her like construction guy that built her house and things like that. Quad alluded that, hey, Eugene and Toya be stealing. They thieves. They broke into or got somebody's house broken into. I'm like, that's a little criminal. like I wouldn't want somebody who would put those felony charges on me either around. But I do find it kind of like Toya was making an obvious point there. Like, you know what? It's been a while since I felt good at being around the ladies. And I feel good being around the ladies minus Quad. Now, mind you, if you've been a fan of Married to Medicine, Toya is usually the butt of the jokes. So that's why I was like, I find it funny that you feel good about being around the ladies, where many times than not, Simone going at you, heavily talking about you. You get what I'm saying? But I digress. Let's move on. So we are at Dr. Damon's networking event. I think they had it at the Cigar Lounge. Toya, Cecil, Dr. Simone, Dr. Jackie, and Curtis shows up. And they all make fun of Dr. Heavely's dress. In the comments below, what do y'all think about Dr. Heavely's dress? My wife did not like that. Blair did not like the dress. She thought it was just a little much. A little short and just a little much. I felt the same way. I was like, I don't know what the dress is doing. At one point, there's sleeves. And then at the bottom, I think it was like, I don't know, it was feathers or whatever it was. But then again, I'm not in that tax bracket. So some things that may look good to them don't look good to me in my tax bracket. I have no idea. But let me know what y'all thought about it, right? So, of course, they all make fun of her dress. Dr. Alicia, Sweet Tea, and Dr. G and Phaedra shows up. And this older man starts to hit on Phaedra, right? And he basically starts talking about her and things like that, talking to her. And she's talking to her girlfriends. Phaedra talking to the lady group, basically like in front of this guy, basically saying like, what is this guy doing? And they start playing with the guy and things like that. And basically he said, I play drums, talking about Phaedra's behind, you know. They laugh it off and he goes off and basically things of that nature. I still don't know how Phaedra's on the show. I don't even know. She's over here trying to flirt with guys, I guess, as a single woman. I thought you had to be at least talking to medicine. I know we took married to medicine literally, but I guess, okay, if you're not married to medicine, or you're talking to medicine. Phaedra's a lawyer. So whatever it is what it is, right? Heavily says that she is a relationship expert, and she calls Phaedra up to the stage and asks if there's any single men out there. And of course, you know, they come up there as a small scene and things like that. This is the most we've seen Phaedra in a while. You know, they come up there. She said, how old are you? He says, I'm 30, I'm 32, and things like that. And, you know, she turns around and basically the lady was like, hey, you're not her pimp. Dr. Heavily, you're not her pimp. What's going on here? You know, just something small. So Dr. Simone asked Dr. Alicia, hey, does Dr. Kima, that's Kima, I think his name is Kima, right? This is Dr. Alicia's husband, have a newfound respect for what she does as a mom, because, you know, they went out and the time when they went out to the vineyard and stuff like that for Toya's event with the wine, he had to take care of the kids. So they basically was like, hey, how was it when you returned home? Does he respect you more? Does he appreciate you more? And she's like, hey, yeah, he does. He definitely see how much hard work I do and things like that. And then eventually they got on the comments that Dr. Kima made to the guys about, you know, it feels like y'all guys, I ain't gonna basically cut my nutsack off and things like that. I ain't gonna have no women telling me what to do. You know how he was. Man power. Very caveman-ish, man power-ish. Right? So the women start to talk about the comments that he made. And Toya said maybe, because it's always Toya said maybe Kima needs to be around some strong women. Right? Maybe, like, you know, he feels this way because he's around weak women all the time. I'm paraphrasing. The only weak woman that, quote unquote, Toya's alluding to is the wife. Toya alluded that he's difficult to be married to. Based on how he's thinking, based on how he basically live his life and his beliefs, she alluded that he's difficult to be married to. Dr. Alicia responded by saying, like you? I said, uh-oh. You see, Toya got a problem sometimes. Sometimes she just put a foot in her mouth just a little too far, you know? Dr. Alicia responded by saying, oh, like you? Actually, if we keep it a buck, you and Dr. Kima, this is Alicia talking, are just alike. Because whatever you say goes, right? You get what I'm saying? So, and Dr. Alicia basically, she talks to us in the confessional, and she said, look, I'm gonna paraphrase what she said. She said, look, I'm not like these other women, you know, to where they are basically the alpha male, for lack of terms, in their relationship, right? I have my way of doing things, but I let him steer the ship. In their relationships, they don't let the guy really steer the ship. And she said, there are some things that Dr. Kima say, which is her husband. She said, there's some things that I don't agree with because I do come from a single parent household, but I have my own way of going about it. I don't really go about it the way that y'all do. Let me know what y'all think about that. I think that's actually smart, because not every, like, it's not a one size fit all. You have to see where you fit and how you're going to adjust to this man who is African and also was raised in Jamaica. How are you going to fit in his whole, how he view life? You get what I'm saying? And basically he even see how much you do, Dr. Alicia, to where he's like, okay, I can actually appreciate that she does a lot, you know? So Let me know what y'all think about that, right? So Simone says that her and Cecil are planning a 10-year anniversary trip. And listen here, we've been a group for 10 years, and we are doing a 10-year anniversary trip. This is the 10th season. We all been together. This is the OG trip. Wait a minute, I don't see Quad there. How are we gonna celebrate 10 years and like no Quad? I find that very interesting, Dr. Simone, but I digress. And she said, you know what? We plan a trip, and we are all going to Hilton Head, South Carolina. And that's when everybody's face went, And truth be told, I didn't go, I was like, why South Carolina? That's the first thing that went in my head, because we got used to Barbados. We got used to them going to these beaches and things of that, extravagant places. I'm thinking like maybe South Carolina, that's like below the budget that they usually do. You know, these are doctors, you know. But apparently Hilton Head is supposed to be the place where Curtis got caught cheating with his mistress. You get what I'm saying? And basically, they was basically saying, hey, how are you supposed to be Dr. Jackie's best friend, Dr. Simone, and it didn't cross your mind that, Hilton Head is basically where Curtis was caught cheating. How are you going to plan a trip to bring Jackie back to the scene of the crime, right? I was like, oh. So when they finally told Simone, like, hey, Hilton Head, Curtis, remember? She was like, oh, damn. That didn't even cross my mind. She said, I forgot the location that it was Hilton Head. And then Dr. Heavily starts to basically talk down at Simone, saying, you knew this. You need to be compassionate about Dr. Jackie's feelings. Listen here, if there's one thing Dr. Heavily's going to do, she's going to defend Dr. Jackie now. Simone and Heavily, they kind of don't even like each other that much anyway. They get along, but they don't like each other. So Dr. Heavily is like, look, man, you need to be compassionate about Jackie. This is Jackie we talk about. How come you doing this to Jackie? How dare you? So I'm like, I wasn't even thinking. I'm sorry. You get what I'm saying? I didn't even consider that. You know? Dr. Jackie's like, look, I'm going to talk to my husband. I'm going to talk to Curtis. And then I get back with y'all. I said, that's fair. To me, in my head, I'm like, why don't y'all just change the location? Blair was like, maybe they paid for everything. I'm like, just cancel it. But I digress, right? So we see that Dr. Jackie, she comes home from work, and Curtis is here. Usually Curtis haven't been here. So Dr. Jackie talked to Curtis. Curtis is planning his trip back to the DR. What is he doing in the DR? We don't know what Curtis does. Maybe I don't know. In the comments below, if you know what he's doing there in the DR, please let me know, right? So Dr. Jackie tells Curtis, hey, Simone planned this trip for South Carolina Hilton Head, right? Curtis is like, why Hilton Head? I'm over it, really. Curtis is like, as long as everyone mind their business, I don't mind supporting my friends, but not at my suspense. Excuse me, not at my expense. Let me say that again. Curtis is like, as long as everyone mind their business, I don't mind supporting my friends, but not at my expense. He's basically like, look, I don't want to go. And truth be told, I'm not really going to go. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm over it. We've been through it. We are in a good place. And I don't want someone to basically bring us back to that bad place to where we have to dig ourselves out of that hole that Curtis put them in. And if we're in a good place. And that's the downside to cheating. Even though you can forgive a cheater and things like that, like, those wounds don't heal. It never heals, right? So I can understand why Jackie may be triggered. She even said she voted for Myrtle Beach, and you heard Toya. She said, "Why with the ghetto folks?" I'm like, my goodness, Toya, what type of life you think you deserve? Please let me know, because I never been to Myrtle Beach, so maybe it is ghetto folks, but I never been. Y'all, let me know. But yeah, I think Jackie's like, she don't want to be triggered. She have no interest of going to Hilton Head. And Curtis like, look, I have no business of being questioned. You know what I'm saying? Especially since we in a good place. So let's move on. So now we are at Phaedra's son's birthday party, right? And I felt like what Phaedra had on for the party was inappropriate, right? Even though, like, I think it was like a flesh skin leggings or whatever it was, I just felt like it leads too much to the imagination for kids, for a kids party. I think the son was turning 14. I think it just left too much for the imagination, but that's my opinion. And Toya's like, where is Apollo? You know, I would think that he'll be here. And she's in a confessional. She said, look, if he's a good father, no one should care about his prison record. Toya, just calm yourself, right? So Dr. Heavily is walking around, and she see one of her friends at the party, and she's like, where is your wedding ring? You walking around here with like no wedding ring. Matter of fact, my husband's ring costs $80. Let me give you $80 to go get yourself a ring. You're married. You know, I thought that was funny. So Dr. Kima is talking to Dr. G, and he's like, man, aren't we lucky that we have our women taking care of us? Dr. Heavily is looking over at the group, and she's looking at them talking. She's like, something about, I don't want them talking to each other because I just know they are talking about some mess. And truth be told, yeah, that's true. That's very true, right? So eventually, Dr. Heavily brings it up again. She said, hey, why Hilton Head? Simone is like, I consider other places. Like, I really didn't mean no disrespect by it. She said, I like consider Savannah. I like consider Mississippi. And even when Dr. Simone was listing these places, I'm like, this is supposed to be a 10-year anniversary. You trying to send me to Mississippi? What's in Mississippi? Listen, if we got people who live in Mississippi who listen to this review, no disrespect to Mississippi. I got folks that's from Alabama, Utah, Alabama, by the way. So I know the countryside. And I'm just like, on my 10-year anniversary, I don't want to go to the countryside of Mississippi. I never heard of a lot of people vacationing in Mississippi, but I digress, right? So Dr. Jackie finally shows up, and Heavily, Simone, and Jackie, they go to the side to talk privately away from the group. Simone wants to know if everything is okay talking to Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie said, I talked to Curtis, and he really doesn't want to go. He's not feeling it. While Simone is trying to talk to Jackie, Heavily is cutting in, basically finishing Dr. Jackie's sentences. You know what I'm saying? She's basically like, hey, Curtis don't want to go. He ain't feeling it. And Dr. Heavily is basically ad-libbing whatever Dr. Jackie is saying, right? That's what Dr. Heavily is doing. And Simone is like, hey, listen, Jackie, get your bulldog. Get your bulldog. I ain't trying to deal with your bulldog, right? Dr. Heavily and Simone, they go somewhere privately, and then they start arguing at this kid's party. They start arguing, and that's when Phaedra's like, I wouldn't think the ladies wouldn't argue at a kid's party, but like I said, Phaedra, this is your first season. You ain't true to this. You're new to this. They argue anywhere all the time. They start arguing about Dr. Jackie, and Simone is like, I knew Jackie for like 20 years. There's things about her that you don't know that I know. I know her better than you do. And Dr. Heavenly, of course, you're like, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing, right? Dr. Jackie comes back and she tells her friends to stop arguing. And Jackie said, look, if Curtis goes, I will go. If not, I will not go. I will not be there if Curtis is not there. I will talk to him again, and we will see where we end up, basically, on this will I be there or will we not be there. Then basically we leave off the episode with everyone packing for the Hilton Head trip. In the next episode preview, we see Jackie call Simone and basically say, I don't think I will be able to make it. And then eventually we kind of see her there. So we go see basically what happened from the time where she said she couldn't make it to the time where her and Curtis arrive. I'm very interested for next episode. We see Sweet Tea crying. I don't know why she's crying. Then her and Dr. Jackie kind of get into it. I am very interested in that conflict and see how that even started. How did you feel I did, Blair Bear? Okay. Thank you, Blair Bear. Let me know in the comments below what y'all thought about this episode. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Thumbs up the video, too. That helps us get around for people to see us so we can grow this community. Okay? Thank you. Y'all be good.